We on? Yeah. Yeah. It went beep beep. Hey folks, T and I are out here working, doing our thing, and we figured, or I figured, I got something really nice that I'm working on, and I thought I would share that with you folks. Maybe take your mind off of the other things that are going on that are not so fun to look at, and I figured we'd look at something that is it's just our, warms my heart. It's fun. We started out this morning. We're working on the mill, and I wanted you to come on in here, honey. Take a look at this. We're in the process of taking and making. I was a little skinny, but some siding boards, and I think I showed you this on the Heritage Homestead Creations channel. These are siding boards that we're cutting out of cedar that we're going to put on the pump house to basically cover it up and make it look good. And yes, this is pretty stuff, but we're going to eventually paint it. But the cedar stuff, man, this is going to last a very, very long time once we get it up on the side of that. But so this is just part of it. It's a bunch of decent size 10, 12 inch logs that we're turning into some essentially 1/2 inch thick by 6 inch wide, essentially siding boards, and then we're getting out whatever we can out of some 1x, and we got a couple of 4x that we've gotten out of it, but that's not the real fun. I want to show you what we're getting ready to work on up here and what we got on the mill, because that's quite special. Come on, honey, follow me. Let's show them what we got going on. And T and I just rolled it up on here using these ramps. Some of you've seen that, some of you haven't, but we got the cant hook over there, and we essentially just pry it up, lever it up. We got a little off-cut piece of knot right there. We use as a little safety wedge. So we'll roll it up, wedge it, roll it up, wedge it. But this is a cedar log. Very few people get to have a cedar log this big sit on their mill. This is for argument's sake, it's a juniper, but it's a eastern, we can call it eastern red cedar, and it's a big one, and it came off of our lot down the hill below us, and I've had my eye on this thing ever since we essentially bought the property. I've known about this, and today we're going to turn it into what I hope is going to be some of the most amazing boards you've ever seen. Let's take a quick look at it and what we got to do. We just got it rolled up there, but we got to do a few adjustments. On this end, we've got, come on around here, honey. We got roughly 20 inches across there. There was a little issue when we dropped it, and you can see there's a bit of bark inclusion here, some bark inclusion here, and some bark inclusion here. That's kind of the way it goes with cedars, but when it went to fall, there's a little bit of a split right here. Now hopefully that split doesn't go up in here too far. I don't think it will. This log, when I cut it to length, is actually 9 foot, so if I lose 6 or 8 inches on the bottom, I'm not going to hurt for an 8 foot board. Let's go up here to this end. And on this end, we're about 15 this way and 17 that way. But you can see this is going to be a gorgeous piece of wood. And after we brought it up here, had our friend come on in a little closer, because I know that wind's going to be kind of rough. I don't want to scream at you. And so our friend helped us get it up, Ken, who's got his Kubota, and he helped us drag this up. The top half of this tree we've already milled up, and we've actually finished the woodshed. It took us, what, 2 days? Not even really 2 days. 5 or 6 hours one day and 5 or 6 hours the other day. Was that about right? Mm-hmm. So we got it. Looks good. honey. Remind me so we can do a quick clip at the end to take a walk around. But I want to show you this, my friends. This is an amazing piece of wood, and what I'm going to try to do, and the thing that's been rolling in my head now since I've seen the thing, is how do I get the best, most beautiful, prettiest pieces out of this that I can. And well, there's a couple of things that I could do. One, I could just slab it and do some very, very large live edge slabs. I could do that. I might even pull one off just for the sake of doing it. The other is, and I've been debating hard on this, is, you know, what would be good. At first I thought I was going to need to get all my siding out of it, because there's a lot of those little 1/2 inch by 6 inch pieces in that I could get. I mean, I could get a ton of it, but I get way more of that out of here than I need for that little pump house. So I've been pretty much thinking that the absolute best I think that we're going to be able to get out of it is as wide a board as we can, and I'm kind of hoping that we can get down in here to somewhere near a 12-inch cant. So if I come in a couple inches here where I'm taking off my outer slats, I'm thinking I want to try and get something that I can run the widest possible that I can run through my planer and come up with some beautifully smooth, nice, wide, you know, my one planer is a 12.5 inch, and then that new one we got from Grizzly, that one's a 13-inch planer, so I could get 13-inch boards planed down for actually doing some finish work, some really nice shelving or cabinetry or something. I don't know what, but this is a special piece of wood, and you can't find these. They don't get this big, and they're just really hard to find one this big. I mean, you can get some nice size ones, but this large, it's just hard to do. So I wanted to share it with you. I think, like I said, I'm going to try and get as many wide 1-bys out of it as I can. That will, to me, would be the best use for it, to get the biggest, prettiest boards that we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to set you up over on the tripod and just do some time lapse, and you can watch us cut it up, and then we'll wrap it up here at the end and show you what we got.
Chains and sweet champagne, and 2 days alone with you. Not too far from the city by car, or maybe we can make a more romantic trip by train to the country. It's where I want to be with you.
Didn't start out that way. No. Alright folks, I don't know if you caught that, but the blade started dipping, so when it popped out here, it's got a bit of a cup here. So we're going to do a quick blade change, because I need these things to be as true and flat as possible. I just put that blade on when I hit a couple of other logs, but looks like I need to get a sharp one on there, so we'll be right back. Alright, we've got the new one on there. I want to take a look at something and let you see something here. This is the split that I was talking about. It looks like that split was in there when I dropped the tree, and not a function of me dropping the tree, because if you look, there's staining all the way up through here, and a little bit right here of where there are some splits that want to run through it. I'm not sure what that's going to mean structurally. Hopefully we'll kick out of it because it comes out and goes out this way. And it may have been that some kind of windstorm did that. You know, a tree got a heavy wind and it just bent too much and put a split in it, because you have, like I said, you have some bark inclusion here and here. Well, we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to take another 1-inch cut off of here, and if that looks good after that cut, because that should get me down here somewhere. If that looks good and that line moves way over like I'm getting out of it, then I'll probably go ahead and roll it, and then we'll square up another side. But yeah, if you're going to do wide boards like this, you really kind of want a very true running blade. So let's give it a shot.
For the weekend. Open fires and dried wildflowers adorn this room with a view.
Come over here. Look how thin that cut out. That tells you how bad it was running out at the end, because this is only a 1/2 inch thick, and then that blade was dipping. Yeah, I'm glad I trued it up like that. Okay, that ain't good for nothing.
Whiskey and wine and go down like water. In the morning we will surely feel it, but who cares? In the country, it's where I want to be with you for the weekend. We walk for hours with no purpose, at least until our stomachs hurt us. You skip rocks across the river, now watch the waves upon the water. And though nothing too complex, just music and dancing every night. And oh, this is the meaning of my whole life. You wear a crown of flowers you found, and my eyes trace a flight of fancy. Stoned from the sun and the wind gets us drunk. Oh, what a simple fantasy, but right now I don't care. In the country, it's where I want to be with you.
Get your thing and just clean it up. Alrighty. Thought we'd show you inside the log here. There's another bark inclusion right here, and let her clean it up here real good. Yeah, it's bark inclusion from that limb. Very nice. It's still got a ways to go to get into the core. Very nice. Woo-wee! Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I know. So I say we'll have to edge up that big board over there. Alright, now we need to roll that thing over and clean up another side here.
For the weekend. as far as half a tank will allow. We can shoot at cans, go swimming in the dams. We can do whatever we want here any day in the country. That's where I want to be with you forever. Oh, we can do whatever that we choose. That's right now in my mind. We walk for hours with no purpose, at least until our stomachs hurt us. You skip rocks across the river, and I watch the waves upon the water. Though nothing too complex, just music and drinking every night. And oh, this is the meaning.
Alright, so we are back from lunch, and I needed to charge this phone up, so we were letting it charge and figured we'd take a few cuts. And some new things have evolved here on the mill with this huge cant. First thing is, we flipped it around. This, I think that was the last you saw. We had to get this side kind of trued up. And my observations about this crack in the base being in there, you notice we got, now that we've cleaned this off, we've got bark inclusion that goes all the way up here, and these two pieces that came off split. Pull it apart and I put it together. See, it was like that. Okay, so they split, which is not a very good sign. Okay, we got a couple of issues going on here. So if you look at this, the lighting right, there's that line that runs all the way up here. It kind of comes up this way, but this one goes that way. So it's actually, there's a bit of a twist in the tree, as it, you know, you see that a lot in a lot of trees. They'll twist, and that's because of that thing and the way it moves from east to west, and the initial part of the growth of the tree is to follow that during the day and then twist and twist and twist, and that's the way it happens. So here's the issue. It's split right here, and it's split right here on these two faces when we pull the board off. The big question is, how much further down does it continue to split? Is that crack and split right there, the lighting's not good, does that actually go all the way through it? You know, in other words, does this line right here literally go all the way across and come out on here? And which means, if that's the case, you've got a chunk of wood here that's essentially separate from the rest of the cant. And this is the, you know, problem that you get into with some of these older, bigger trees, which is why you got to be careful. And if you were to take this to a mill and they saw that crack right there, they would discount this log significantly because of the amount of yield that you're going to get out of it when your boards split like they do. So again, how am I going to maximize the most widest boards that I can? Well, let's take a look at what we've done so far. I still have some bark on this corner, and I still have some bark on this corner. Yet I got a really nice face here and a nice face here, because I can't get a wide board on this face, and I can't get a wide board on this face because they're going to split. What I just did was change the blade again, because the one that we put on it started to dip. And if you can see that, there's an ever so slight dip right there, and that's not good for what we're doing either. So what I need to do is clean off some more of that bark. Now I can either do it by cutting the boards this way, or I can take both of those corners off this way. I want to do some more careful cutting to to slowly go into this crack to make sure that I can still maximize the majority of the meat, this big chunk right here, into as many wide boards as I can. So right now I'm down to about 12 3/4 by 12 3/4. I don't know how I did that. It should have been 13 13. I think that's because the blade was dipping the way it was. All right, so and we got a little bit of potential split from older bark inclusion right there. I don't remember what it was on the bottom here. So this section right here, if I were to take boards off of here, I could come up to that split and maintain a full width board, or I could come off of here and maintain a full width board, with the exception of that. That's going to be This is going to be challenging. This thing has really thrown a kink in our ability to get. I was expecting just a full stack of 12-inch or 13-inch boards. Boom, 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 boom. Just cut it right down. But I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to get that. We're split all the way up to here, to about a knot right here and right here. So let me take another inch cut off of here. We'll bring this down to 12 inches, which will take off a lot of that bark there. And we're in and out of the itty bitty clouds.
So you take what? You're wanting to get down to 12 inches, so you maybe take 3/4 off, right?
Yeah, we'll do a 3/4 inch board. That should help me get a feeling for what's going on with this split, and whether it's truly two pieces of wood. Because if it is, then once I get this bark and stuff off, I'm going to have to take off this side and this side and this side and this side. There's where my boards are going to come off of as I work towards that split. It's going to be a challenge. The big question is, how far does it go up in the core? As this log grows and you have these bark inclusions close in, the nature of the log is to want to round out. So it just closes up and fills up, but it never truly bonds and becomes one piece of wood across there. That's going to be significantly difficult. What I could have done, if I had, I thought this crack was when from when we dropped it, and that it cracked when the tree was moving on the stump. I was wrong. That crack was there. So here's the deal. What I could have done if I had known better is I could have rotated this log and then cut the top off, or cut this corner off and gone square across like that, and had this thing that way. That would have possibly helped me. Hello, Midnight. So anyway, battery in this camera doesn't last as long as it used to do, so let me shut up and let me see if I can take some boards off and what we can come up with. Now I know we will get usable wood out of here, but the good question is going to be, can I get how many actual 12-inch plus width boards can I get? Let's see what we can come up with. And you are set. Let's do it. Let's do it. Alright, so where are we at here? That last board turned out pretty good. The one on top of it, all you see is the sawdust. That board is not too bad, and the next one won't be too bad. Pick it up, honey, and flip it over. Or let me see the one underneath. Alright, there is some bark inclusion here, and of course we got some bark on the edge. But I think that board will hold together, and that'll have a lot of character in it. And that'll make some nice shelving. I think that one will be just fine, and I think this one will be fine. And it looks like due to this crack, and that's why we flipped it over, because it kept running in. So this entire thing, it is truly a separate piece all the way through and through, and there's nothing we can do about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down another one. I can get another 1-incher across here and have one more super wide board, because the next board, I may get 2. I may come down here and get 2, and we'll just miss this corner right here. Actually, I might get 3 now that I'm thinking about it. But the further I go down, the more I'll lose in the width here. So I think I'm going to take 1 or 2, and then we'll flip it up and we'll make whatever width boards we have. Let's see, what will that be? So what am I down to? I'm down to 9 inches. If I take 1, that'll leave a 1 by 8. Maybe that's what I'll do, and I'll do 1 by 8s and come down this way and get those and work down towards this corner and try and isolate that massive split on there. I thought we were get a whole lot more than that out of this. This is turning into be a little bit of a disappointment as to just what we're getting at. I mean, not that we're not gonna get some boards out of here, but I was really looking forward to the potential of a dozen good 1x12s out of this. That would have been spectacular. And in the essence of it, some of these wider boards that have some cleanup that needs to be done to it, I mean, we can get them out of there. We can get some boards out of there, but we're just going to have to be real careful on handling them because they want to split. Now, depending upon how you build a little shelving unit or something like that, split down the middle of it might just be character and not be a big issue. If all you're doing is putting in some shelving brackets and put in a long shelf, you know, you could still use that board. It'd still function just nicely as a shelf. But if you want to start doing some bolt together cabinetry and whatnot, it's going to be challenging. I think I'll do 1 more. We'll take it down to 8, and then we'll turn this cant up, and we'll do some 1x8s until I hit the split chunk down there. And that's about the best we're going to do with it. I don't know what to do with the rest of it other than try and cut out some. Yeah, that little dude's funny as the dickens. All right, let's get these get the plan going. Alright, so let's scoot this over here. So I'm down to essentially a 6x6 camp. However, due to this, get in here and show them real close. Alright, there's still bark inclusion right here in this section. So these are two all the way down here, and you can see there's a split down here. And then let me pull that end over to you. Alright, roll that. And then this side, it's not as bad here because this is more of a split. And that split comes up into here and then stops. So what could we do with it? I'm down to a few options. I did the best I could to get as many 8 inches out of there. We only got what, two or three,
4, 5, 6.
Let's go take a look at it. Ow, that was my knee. Losing my britches.
I think we got 6. 8 inches. No, we got more than 6.
How many did we get of the 3? Alright.
3, 12, and
Into the, there we go.
4, 6, 7, 8 inches.
7 of the 8-inch boards. Those are really nice. Those will be nice boards. At one of the 13-inch boards is got some bark and inclusion and a little bit of split in it. The other two, I only ended up with 2 of these super wide ones. But that's okay. It is what it is. The whole idea is to maximize what we can get out of it. So, those are some nice boards. They're actually 9 foot. And then we just pulled off, how many of them did we get? 4 just now? 4 more siding pieces. And because I figured that would be a good opportunity when I got it down to essentially 6 inches wide, to pull off a few of those. So now I could either just leave this and let it be a 6x6 post, and that little split really wouldn't make a huge deal, or I could keep trying to flip it that way, honey. Roll it to you. Alright, so that's the upper edge, and it goes all the way up to the corner because that's where I was cutting up there. I could take some there. How about that side? Flip that over one more time. You know what we could do? We could pull a few more. Maybe we do that. Go ahead and fold it, lay it over there. There's no problems on this side. A little bit of a minor split there. So here's the issue. If I use it for the 1/2 inch thick siding pieces, I can't have a big old crack or split in it like that, because then the sun hits it and it'll just peel that thing apart. Won't do any good. So what I could...
You can get a 1 inch out of here.
Well, we need siding. We got a lot of 1x. Plus there's a stack of 1x over in that mess. And there's everything that we've got in the drying shed. We got a lot of 1x. I was wanting super wide boards for some nice shelving units or something like that. So I actually think that we should go ahead. I think that's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and we'll take 4 more 1/2 inch boards. That'll take us down to 4 inches on height, and then we will pull whatever we can on this side of maybe 2 1x's. They won't be as long viable. We'll have to cut them off where the crack, somewhere around there. We'll have some 1x's, and that'll leave us a 4x4 post over here in the corner. So we'll get a 4x4 post, a handful more of the 1/2 inch for our siding, because we still need a bunch of that. And probably ought to wrap this up by showing the woodshed real quick. Well, let's head over there and show you what we did with the woodshed. We almost have no power left on the battery, so I'm going to make this real quick. Give them a quick pan and show them. the top of that tree that we were working on are these two very long 2x8s, and they're 1.5 inches thick, and they run the full length up there. And then we filled in, I think we got 4 of the 2x8s that went this way going that way, and then one of those came off another tree, I think it was. But anyway, so all our little slats, the cut off slats, are going on the outside. We're leaving this, you know, kind of a half wall so that we can see through here. And then we kind of hung up all our axes. We got a bunch of them. We've been collecting them. Every time we find an axe head or a maul head or something like that, we've either got it at yard sales or somebody gave them to us or whatever, and we fix them and we keep them and put new handles in them. And so there you go. Pallets are free if you know where to go. But once this thing is loaded with wood, we're 8 foot wide by 16 foot long, or actually
15% battery.
Yeah, it's telling you to shut it off. All right, for that, you say bye, I'll say bye.
Bye.
Take care, and we'll catch you next time.